Powering on. Mic off. Powering on. Mic off.
Muy buenas, bienvenidos a un nuevo directo, bienvenidos a los primeros gameplays de Fórmula 1 2019 con el Masters. Ayer estuvimos analizando algunos pocos, pero han salido nuevos y claramente pues vamos a analizar tanto los de ayer como los que han salido a partir del directo, el directo de ayer hasta actualmente los que han salido, ¿vale? Hay variación de Fórmula 1 y Fórmula 2, de clásicos no hay nada de momento, y tampoco es lo más esencial. Y del modo trayectoria tampoco sabemos nada, así que no me pidáis modo trayectoria porque en modo trayectoria pues no, no dispongo ahora mismo de esos gameplays, ¿vale? Así que bueno. Vale, vamos para allá. Perfecto. Vamos a poner esto. Vale. Vamos a ver con el primero. Primero vamos a empezar con Fórmula 1 y después tenemos a Fórmula 2, ¿vale? Tengo aquí todos los gameplays preparados, todos los que he podido encontrar, así que vamos a darle. El primero es Daraba, desde aquí agradecerle que haya subido estos gameplays, tiene Madrug y a otro youtuber más que no me sé el nombre, pero después lo nombraré. Así que agradecérselos y vamos para allá con el primero, que es en Mónaco con el Ferrari de Charles Leclerc. Así que vamos para allá.
Hey, what's up
guys, Arab here. Welcome back to a brand new video here today with some exclusive F1 2019 gameplay. Yep, so earlier this week I got invited to Codemasters HQ to record this gameplay, so a huge shout out to everyone involved at Cody's for making that happen and having me for the day to record this gameplay. I got about an hour to record, so it wasn't a lot of time, very super limited. So we don't have a ton of gameplay, but there's enough where you'll see...
Vamos a avanzar un poco porque aquí ayer lo vimos y se enrolla un poquito aquí al principio.
For the F1 esports, and just for me personally, that's not my personal best way to record F1 and race F1. I much prefer being sat up in a normal desk chair, and I'm not really used to a Fanatec wheel with the Fanatec pedals, which are very, very stiff compared to my Thrustmaster ones. So just an asterisk there. All the gameplay you're seeing isn't going to be like the best gameplay ever or the fastest gameplay out there, or just my usual kind of speed of driving, really, because I wasn't really used to the entire setup and the way I was sat in the chair. But nonetheless, it's gameplay. It shows off how the game is looking. But here we're here for the Monaco GP in the Ferrari car. But going through and flicking through the menus right here, just to show you guys off the menus, because obviously no one's really seen the menus yet in any of the gameplays on YouTube yet. No one's really shown off the menus. So obviously they got the new tiling system, which I've mentioned I really like and prefer to the kind of scroll wheel. Makes it a bit more kind of, I don't know, just easier to navigate, really, and that's what they've gone for. It's going to be easier to navigate. The game mode that you play the most will show up the first time on the first screen there. So if you play a lot of multiplayer, that will show up first. If you play a lot of career mode, that will show up first. And then going through the cars then, looking pretty jazzy actually, with the reflections and the geometric kind of bubbling shapes behind changing color as you go through the teams. Obviously you will see that a lot of these cars are still the 2019 spec cars, which is the car that Ross Brawn and Pat Simmons made in conjunction with Codemasters, with the 2019 liveries draped on top of them. There are a few cars, a la kind of the Renault, the Racing Point car, and the Toro Rosso, I believe. I think that's all three of them that have actually got the 2019 actual models in, but the rest of the cars are still being made currently as we speak. So at the moment in game in this build, it's the 2019 spec car that's being used in their place. But yeah, we're going to go to the Monaco Grand Prix. We're going to play the intro cutscene and pay close attention to the little finer details of the track, not the actual on track, but the outside bits of the track. You'll notice it's been improved quite a fair bit since 2018.
The Monaco Grand Prix is upon us, and we're heading into the weekend with the first of the practice sessions. It's certainly not the easiest of tracks to navigate, so today is going to be incredibly valuable to the teams. Lowe's hairpin is the slowest corner of any track on the Formula One calendar. It's taken at just 48 kilometers an hour, but provides a stunning view on the first lap as the entire grid bunches up and tiptoes through the corner, hoping not to leave any carbon fibre parts behind.
This is such a tight bend that a special steering rack is used just to get around this very corner, as the cars would not normally be able to make the turn. There is the possibility of overtaking through Lowe's, but more often than not, you'll end up damaging your car.
So hopefully you would have noticed.
A ver, explico un momento para un momento. La versión legendaria, sería la tocha, por decirlo así, sale 3 días antes, o sea, el 25, que es la que tendremos aquí en el canal, precisamente. O sea, que el día 25 a las 12 de la noche estaremos aquí en directo ya con el Fórmula 1. Y incluye lo del Ayrton Senna y lo de Alain Prost. Y incluye el Ferrari del 2010 y el McLaren del 2010. En cambio, la edición aniversario, que es la edición que saldría el día 28, la sale con 3 días de retraso, incluye el Ferrari 2010 y el McLaren 2010, y todo lo demás es lo mismo. Lo único que varía son los 3 meses de... No hay los 3 meses, los 3 días entre uno y otro, lo único que varía. Y lo de Alain Prost y lo de Ayrton Senna, poco más. Bueno, aquí ya hay un error, que es el volante, que lo comenté ayer, pero bueno. Hay que... el volante tienen que actualizarlo. No solamente el del Ferrari, sino el de todos, excepto el del Renault, todos, por lo que he visto.
I don't know how to really explain it, barren in a way, because a lot of it was kind of not modeled as detailed as they could have done on the previous game. So they've really gone.
Es que la edición se llama legendaria, que es la del Emperor, la Ayrton Senna. Ahí sí que está. O sea, la legendaria, el día 25 está lo del Emperor y lo de Ayrton Senna, pero la del día 28 no está esa cosa, solamente están los clásicos, que son los del McLaren y el Ferrari del 2010.
This is literally my first laps ever on the game here in this entire setup and my time at the HQ around the Monaco GP in this practice session, driving as Charles Leclerc. You can notice it is the 2019 spec car. The Ferrari is one of the cars that they're still building from this build, so it is the 2019 spec car with the Ferrari livery, but still looking pretty damn nice. And just going around and getting used to everything here. In terms of the handling, the feel, it was very hard for me to tell. It was very hard for me to tell, in all honesty, because of the whole difference in setup to what I'm used to at home. So I can't at this point really give an honest opinion.
Para la Play Store ya está, para reservar. Si queréis después os lo muestro. Y para Steam también. O sea, para Steam, para PC también. Están las dos ediciones. A partir de ahí cada uno elige la que quiere comprar.
New shiny Pirelli look that Pirelli have got this year with the way they make their compounds in 2019, but then also the way the graining shows up on the actual tyre. And I felt like when you locked up, you could really feel it a bit more on the force feedback, and it went for a little bit longer. So I think lockups, from at least what I've played, I think lockups will play a bit of a bigger part when you do have them compared to 2018, where you could really quite easily control them, in fact. But we're going to move on then to the race cutscenes and into a little 5-lap race.
We're here to kick off today's race at the infamous Circuit de Monaco.
Y lo de los 3 días anticipado.
If they want to take home the win today. The prestigious Circuit de Monaco then. It's not all that dissimilar today to the layout that made its debut almost a century ago. It's 2 miles and 19 corners through the streets of Monte Carlo, and although the average lap speed of around 93 miles per hour is the lowest of the season, the tiny margins for error make it the natural habitat of the safety car. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the rundown into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. A fantastic effort from Pierre Gasly yesterday puts him on pole, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid.
A ver, aquí me paro porque quiero decir una cosa. Las caras están fatal, sinceramente, para hacerlas mal. O sea, aquí se ven fatal. En el podio después se ven mejor, pero es que aquí parece que están en un lugar donde hay más sombra que sol, por decirlo así. O sea, que son oscurísimas las fotos, pero bueno.
We have Verstappen, Vettel, Charles Leclerc and Hamilton, Magnussen, Stroll, Sainz and Roman Grosjean, Norris, Ricciardo, Nico Hülkenberg and Perez, Raikkonen, Albon, Robert Kubica and Antonio Giovinazzi, Kvyat and George Russell ends our grid lineup. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So I'm just going to track back here and pause it at the grid sequence. You would have noticed here that the animations, or the pictures rather, are a little bit different compared to last year. Last year it was kind of a face-on, kind of very 2D-like picture of all the drivers. Now,
bueno, aquí se enrolla analizaré en inglés esto. Ahora daré un poco para adelante.
At the Monaco GP, as we go to 5 red lights, you'll notice on the right-hand side there, they've got the new heads-up display.
Como vemos, la IA sale saliendo igual de chetada que salía el año pasado. Eso no ha cambiado. O por eso parece de momento. Por lo que se ve aquí, no creo que cambie.
A lot more proper and kind of just a bit more Formula 1 feel like to have that F1 font going around. And like I said, you know, it's the first year that Codemasters have actually directly worked with F1 with this spec car, and it kind of shows in kind of many other ways around the game the influence of working with F1 a bit more directly and having more integration with the actual F1 in terms of the heads-up display looking a little bit more professional and kind of like almost like real life. Obviously, it's not the exact copycat of the real life heads-up display, but it's got that feel and vibe because of the font. And you'll notice there on the top right with that caution symbol, they've also actually started to use the real life caution symbols in the actual way that they usually show.
Ya, pero Álvaro, son los gameplays que hay, no puedo hacer más. Todos los gameplays que he visto están por actualizarse.
The AI of Magnussen dive bombs me to hell and back there as we exit the tunnel. So the AI were very aggressive, actually. I noticed that in the short time I got to play there. And speaking to Lee Madder at the same time, he did mention that the AI are definitely very aggressive in this build, and they're still going to tweak it a little bit. But I actually mentioned that it was still a very good thing actually to see, you know, the AI being that aggressive. And you'll notice in other gameplays we've got, AI also track you a lot better in terms of when they're trying to follow you and attack you. And also when they're defending against you, they'll be a lot better in terms of they won't move out the way like they have done in 2018, which is a big foible of mine, is a lot of the time they did kind of give you too much room, and they would kind of dive out the way sometimes if you were able to place your car correctly in that kind of manner. So they will now put up a bit more of a fight in that regard. But you can see as we're going through this gameplay, like I said, it's very, very clear that I'm just not that quick compared to the AI right now, because I really was not used to the Fanatec setup in the place here. I just don't gel well with it, so I was just pretty much trying to get through this race and see what we could do in terms of how well the AI would stick with me. And you can see a bit of a train is forming behind me, so they were sticking with me and putting.
Ahora se acaba la carrerita y podemos ver el podio que ha cambiado la cinemática.
Detail in the game, and again you can see with the fast lap of the Grand Prix there, Scar there, and the race winner Pierre Gasly, Romain Grosjean out of the session again. You can see that orange symbol there, and then Carlos Sainz is right up my chuff. Raikkonen out of the session as well. I think he got caught up with Grosjean there, but Grosjean able to catch me quite fast, I think, because I was on lower ERS modes. And speaking to Lee Mather, he mentioned that this year the ERS modes actually will make a bit of a difference, a bigger difference in 2018, just for the fact that actually, if you think about it, without the
que se ha quedado sin combustible, bien. Esto no me había dado cuenta yo.
And the cars, and so the drag and the kind of speed of the car is affected even more by the ERS mode you're in. So ERS is, it seemed like to be a bit more extreme affecting than it was even last year.
Vamos a ver la cinemática.
Thing that you guys have to kind of pay attention to this year, if you don't do auto ERS, is you're gonna have to really make sure you're dialing in and making sure you're concentrating on those ERS modes you're using.
They were able to set themselves apart today.
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
So again, going through these shots, like we saw with the Bahrain gameplay, you can really notice the lighting differences with the game, just in these cutscenes especially, and also as we went around the Monaco track, I felt the track was lit a little bit more realistically and just a bit more natural lighting compared to 2018 when we were going around in that race. But you can see here the improvements made to the models as well, just a lot better, like especially the facial features, the actual smiles and whatnot, a lot better. In talking whilst I was recording the gameplay, Cody's mentioned that obviously...
Vale, antes de ir a la repetición, una cosa que me he dado cuenta hoy, que ayer no me di cuenta. Es una de las novedades que hay.
The improvements made to the models as well, just a lot better, like especially the facial features, the actual smiles and whatnot, a lot better. In talking whilst I was recording the gameplay.
Vale, tenemos la repetición que había antes, pero han añadido los highlights, los mejores momentos, donde he escuchado por ahí de que se podrá editar la carrera o algo por el estilo. Esto, si está en online, pues irá bien, porque si puedes guardar repeticiones, por ejemplo, que a veces hay gente que hace campeonato, o en el caso del Formuleros, por ejemplo, que si guardas la repetición, pues a la hora de que si hay accidentes o algo, pues también te sirve para observarlos y tomar decisiones. A ver, que ya estoy aquí, me he tenido que ir un momento. Vale, a ver, lo que iba diciendo. Que estos si están en el online para ver campeonatos o algo por el estilo, pues puede ayudar porque para ver de esto en lo otro y para youtubers, aquí podrán editar las carreras y o poner diferentes cámaras y eso también ayudará bastante a la hora de editar, ¿vale? Pero bueno, no sé cómo funcionará, así que bueno. Vale, primer gameplay visto. Cerramos porque así me voy liando. El siguiente traba es con Kimi Raikkonen, con el Alfa Romeo. El volante está por actualizar, pero vamos a ver qué tal. Vale, otra vez se enrolla. Vamos otra vez donde tenemos que ir.
Part of the actual video is a bit better than we got on Monaco, because Monaco always is tight and twisty, difficult to even try and make a pass anyway, let alone with the setup I had at the Codemasters HQ, which I mentioned that video was a Fanatec and a play seat, which I'm not really that comfortable with. That's not how I drive at home. I usually drive sat up on a normal desk chair with a Thrustmaster wheel, so it wasn't ideal conditions to really show off what the true racing was like, to be honest, because I wasn't fully comfortable with driving the cars whilst I was recording, and like I said, limited time to record, so with the racing around Paul Ricard, shows off the AI.
Vamos a ir al grano. Ahí estamos.
It's a great day for racing here at Le Castellet, and the drivers are making their final preparations on the grid. Let's hope for a thrilling contest then here at the French Grand Prix. The circuit Paul Ricard then, a 3.6 mile track, 25 miles east of Marseille. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, with the main overtaking chance expected going into turn 8. Top speeds today should be around 205 miles per hour. Anthony Davison joins me today and looking very chirpy as well, it must be said. And by your smile, I'm guessing you're anticipating a good race today.
I always get like this when it comes to race day, Crofty, you should know that. I do think we're in for an extra exciting one today though, that's for sure. The current lineup of drivers are all super competitive, and with the recent upgrades being made by some of the teams, who knows how today will play out.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Pierre.
Right, so we're going to dive straight into the gameplay then here with the Alfa Romeo racing car of Kimi Raikkonen. Another note.
Ahora después lo comentaré del modo trayectoria.
The full car has not been modeled yet for the full release of the game. This is the 2019 spec car with the Alfa Romeo racing.
Bueno, vamos a ver la salida, a ver cómo sale la IA de chetada otra vez.
The exact same as the Ferrari gameplay you would have seen at Monaco. But here we go then to 5 red lights, and we're underway from P17 here for a 3-lap race around Paul Ricard. And like I said, hopefully with a bit more of an open layout at the track, you'll be able to see the AI racing a little bit harder against each other, and also me as well. You can see I got surprised here around the outside by the Williams car, trying to make a pass there of Robbie Kubica there. So again, like I said, driving on a Fanatec wheel, the play seat wasn't ideal, wasn't my usual setup, so I was definitely taking it very easy into the brake zones compared to what I might have done on a normal home setup of mine. So maybe the AI had a jump on me that way into the corners, but then here you can see I made a nice move, 3-car move, nearly a 3-car move on the cars ahead of me, but then the Renault gets round the outside. I couldn't get the traction down as early as Hulkenberg then, and he's got ahead of us. I'm going to try and re-overtake him maybe down the straight. We're going to play around with the fuel loads and the ERS. Obviously the actual buttons themselves and the way you map them on the heads-up display is all the same as last year, so you've still got rich mix, stand mixture and low mixture, and the ERS modes are still the 5 usual modes of none, low, medium, high, overtake and a hot lap there. But like I said in the Monaco video, I did notice they were a lot more excessive in terms of how slow or fast they speed you up here, and here you can see some great racing, full commitment there, just a little lift off to go down the inside of Hulkenberg there. Great racing, but he comes back at me here, so it's still side by side with the Renault. He's still there in the mirrors and the proximity tower. He squeezes me through, gets the downforce of course, because the Renault will have a little bit better downforce than the Alfa Romeo car at this stage. Obviously the devs are still tweaking the car performances, so this isn't the final performance. Obviously you can see on the top of the screen, work in progress. Doesn't just mean also the graphics and the modeling, also means stuff like the AI is still being tweaked and the performances of the cars are still being tweaked. So in this build of the game, the Alfa Romeo racing car was a little bit slower compared to the midfield cars of the Renault and the Racing Point, whereas in real life we've seen it kind of bobbing up and down, sometimes being fast in those cars, but in this case
Lo voy a hacer un poco porque nos vamos a dormir al final.
So I was quite happy compared to what I found that corner. Very awkward, just as I do on F1 2018. That left-hander off camber, very tricky to get the nose in there. And so the Williams has done me. And so that's probably the only Williams overtake we've seen the entire season from 2019. So I've done him a favour. They've changed it a little bit. It's a bit less tight than it was in 2018 as they try to improve it as much as they can, make it as realistic as they can. But we come through then, not the best result obviously, but a good chance to show off the AI a bit better in terms of how aggressive they are. But like I said, my driving per se wasn't as fast as it usually would be at home due to the kind of awkwardness of me playing on a placey and a Fanatec. But nonetheless, a good chance to show you guys off the Alfa Romeo racing car on board and also the Paul Ricard circuit in its new.
Vale, aquí tenemos la salida desde el punto de vista del modo repetición.
The way the light bounces off, I feel like it looks that little bit more natural. I think, especially down here, you can see the way the light kind of goes through the cast of the shadow and on the a lot, and you can see the way that could have maybe
bueno,
been the Fanatec.
Tampoco hace falta ver mucho. Vamos con el siguiente, lo que también lo vimos ayer, tiene Madruk. Con el Renault, que aquí sí que el volante está actualizado. Aparte del buen piñazo que se mete.
What is up, guys, and welcome to F1 2019. Huge thank you to Codemasters for inviting me down to their studio to record this gameplay just for you guys. So yeah, big props go to them. Without all your support, watching my videos over the years, this would not be possible. So huge thank you. Leave a like, subscribe to see plenty more F1 2019 content. I did record a lot of videos from this capture event. I recorded about an hour's worth of footage, but I was able to capture a lot of different tracks, a lot of different car combos, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel to see lots of those. Today we're going to be racing around the French Grand Prix in Paul Ricard, driving Daniel Ricciardo's Renault, and we're going to see what we can do from wherever the hell it puts us on the grid. So let's jump into the race now. Kick it off, Crofty.
It's that time once again, the final moment before lights out and the charge down to turn one. Who will come out on top at Paul Ricard today? We'll find out soon as the French Grand Prix gets underway.
Bueno, vamos a avanzar porque que la cinemática no tiene mucho que ver. Bueno, ahí tenemos a Carlitos Sainz.
This French Grand Prix driving as Daniel Ricciardo. 5 red lights and away we go for our first, although not my first race on F1 2019. This is actually race number 3 or video number 3 that I'm doing. I've got many videos going up on the channel over the next few days regarding this gameplay, but I'll...
Bueno, ahí le dan.
Okay, let's forget that happened. Have a cheeky restart and go again.
Y repite la salida.
I only had like an hour or so to record with the game, so I had to skip out some of the cutscenes that you might have saw earlier, like the starting grid, but lots of new graphics everywhere. We'll get to that as we see fit, but let's just deal with turn 1 first. Here we go. AI pretty aggressive, I found.
Madre mía. El que conduce es un poco manco, también hay que decirlo,
AI,
y los que quedan de Paul Ricard animarse. Porque queda uno de Paul Ricard con lluvia, con el Ferrari. Madre mía, del amor hermoso.
And anything that you see in this build, I suppose, as we go around the outside of Kevin Magnussen, that was very tasty. Work in progress, as you can see. But yeah, we're recording in 4K, or at least I hope I am. Hopefully it's made it out to YouTube in time. If you can't see it in 4K as of yet, come back to this video later and you'll be able to see it. But anyway, good start. We dropped a couple of places and now we've gained them back again, back to P12. Yeah, France has undertaken a few changes compared to last year's iteration. Yeah, a few of the curves are different. The
nuevo suscriptor, no sé quién es.
1 and 2 is a bit more undulated, I would say. Just a few more, curves and stuff are a little bit different here and there. So it's quite interesting to see the comparison. Although looking at it now, you probably can't tell too much of a difference. But if I showed you F1 2018 footage, you'd know the difference straight away. But yeah, really cool to see they've worked on specific tracks. Monaco is another one that's had a lot of work done. And you'll see that video later today, hopefully, if I've been a good YouTuber.
You are derating. Lower the ERS deployment mode before you hit your deployment limit.
Yeah, Jeff giving us a warning.
Bueno, vamos a avanzar porque por Ricardo al final nos lo vamos a aprender más de memoria de lo que tenemos. Bueno, aquí tenéis el alerón trasero, la cámara trasera, que es lo que le dije ayer a animarse mientras estaba fuera de directo. En la vida real no me había dado cuenta que el alerón trasero era más alto, o prácticamente no se notaba. Pero aquí en el juego se nota bastante que es bastante más alto. O sea, que se nota.
Setups are slightly different. You don't have the ballast anymore, so that's a huge factor into making you fast in terms of a good setup. A lot of the online and league races use.
Bueno, vamos a avanzar un poco.
We dropped a couple of places there. We got overtaken by the toothpaste car, and now the McLaren is giving us a bit of a hard time here. Let's see if we can squeeze signs here. I thought that while I was racing on this.
Vamos a avanzar. Vale, vamos a ver el podio.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So there we go. That has been a race around Paul Ricard. Some nice new cutscenes for the podium. It's about time we got some new cutscenes, so there you go. The drivers look a whole lot more enthused to be up there on the podium, which is, good to see. But yeah, that is a small taste of F1 2019. Let's hear from Crofty one last time.
Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender?
Bueno, aquí tenemos que el que se lleva la vuelta rápida pone 23 puntos. O sea, que lo de la vuelta rápida lo tienen en cuenta los de Codemasters. Al menos.
Well, Lance Stroll would be my pick. He managed to keep a cool head today whilst pushing through the field.
Well, Ant, an end to another.
Yeah, we don't need to hear any more of them. I didn't get driver of the.
Bueno, vamos a ver el menú un poco de cómo son los clásicos.
Racing game content. Like I said, I captured like an hour, maybe slightly more of F1.
Que siguen estando los que estaban ya, creo. Más, bueno.
Check back on the channel.
Ah, mira, aquí lo pone. Que son el de Senna y el de Prost.
Later today, tomorrow, to see that gameplay. I've got some F2 stuff. You can see right here I'm browsing the classic car content. But unfortunately I couldn't try the new stuff, the 1990 stuff like Ayrton Senna and Alan Prost. So unfortunately that's not going to be a video. So enjoy.
Vale, pues vamos con el siguiente gameplay. Mónaco de noche, camión por el circuito.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video.
Con el Red Bull.
Now you're seeing the replay cameras, and because you're seeing the replay cameras, you know that this is the actual attempt. So yeah, it seems like every gameplay that I'm doing today requires just one restart, but hopefully second time lucky we can have a good one here. Anyway, turn one I got squeezed by one of the McLarens, or I tried to put myself into a gap that wasn't really there, but we forced our way through. P18 100% race in Monaco I was doing. I was pulling off moves around the outside there, so the
Bueno, un poco para que lo veáis un poco de noche, porque tampoco hay mucho que contar, porque prácticamente el modo de la historia hoy vamos a correr de día aquí. O sea, yo de noche en Mónaco no he corrido, creo que tres como mucho 4 veces de noche en Mónaco, así que bueno, tampoco hay mucho más que ver. Si fuera Bahrein, pues aún podemos sacar más cosas, pero bueno. Bueno, tenemos a Vettel como ganador.
We are a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today and a stunning win for Ferrari. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver?
Have a look at that video.
Bueno, vale. Siguiente. Primer y único gameplay que encontró con lluvia extrema. Ahí os lo dejo. Por cierto, de Game Riot, que agradeces lo que ha subido. Vamos al grano. Esto es lo que se vería cuando corramos en lluvia.
The first part of the video is very heavy, wet weather in a Ferrari. And I really enjoy the AI this year. The AI is so much fun to fight.
Esta conduce con mando y conduce peor que los anteriores.
I've never experienced ever
Porque a veces,
in
madre
any
mía.
F1 game or any racing game. It was, yeah, pretty intense. Please be aware the Mercedes and the Ferrari, I don't believe are the final build for the final release of the game, so they are going to be changed, just so you guys are aware. And yeah, enjoy the gameplay.
No se ve una mierda, así de claro lo digo. Pero tú, aquí se ve la etiqueta, porque yo el coche ni lo veo. No es por la etiqueta, yo no sé cómo de esto. Bueno, avanzamos un poco, porque si no, tenemos aquí 8 años. Me interesa ir a la Fórmula 2. No gana Lewis Hamilton, la carrera esta. Bueno, aquí tenemos a Toto Wolff, que sigue estando igual, no ha cambiado.
Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they clearly have a car that comes alive in the kind of conditions we were dealing with today. It's a very balanced package in the wet, and what that means is that the drivers have confidence to attack.
Que aquí tenemos un onboard de cómo se vería el Mercedes en otra vez en Paul Ricard. ¿Y cómo sonaría? Rubén, esa pregunta, la pregunta es que yo me hago es ¿a qué viene? O sea, yo sé que te respondo, pero no sé a qué viene la pregunta. Pero ya te digo yo que yo no me comería eso. Eso sería el contrarreloj, para que nos entendamos, pero en verdad parece que se ve bien, lástima lo del volante de momento. A ver si lo actualicen dentro de poco. Pero bueno. Todo lo que es contrarreloj y no vamos a estar viendo vueltas al Gran Premio de Francia, porque no lo sabemos de memoria ya. Vale, vamos con la Fórmula 2. El circuito de Mónaco de día con la Fórmula 2. Vamos para allá. Los comentaristas han cambiado. Son los de Fórmula 2 de Sky Sports de Inglaterra, claramente. A ver si los de España los cambian o no. Eso ya no lo sé.
So this week I was lucky enough to go down to Codemasters and play F1 2019. I've not been this excited for an F1 game for a very, very, very long time. So here is some F2 gameplay around Monaco. I had never driven an F2 car up until this point, and I threw myself into a Monaco race.
¿Y si cambiara la morcilla por el chorizo? No, yo no la cambiaría.
I had time to record F1 2019. I thought, let's go for it, let's do it. And of course, the downforce isn't as good. The acceleration.
Bueno, venga, va. Vamos al grano.
There's been one specific change about the AI which I really like. So last year you could lunge, and the AI would go, okay, you guys enjoy the gameplay.
Vamos para allá.
It's not perfect. You guys will be fully aware when you jump into the game in an F2 car for the first time and drive Monaco. It's rough. It's really rough, but it's a lot of fun. I like the challenge. Enjoy the gameplay. I've got more F1 2019 gameplay coming up very soon, so subscribe.
Tenemos delante un Dams.
And I'll see you guys soon. Enjoy the video.
Madre mía, madre mía. Madre mía, por dónde se mete que no cabe, tío. Me ha clavado el sonido del Fórmula 2.
Let's focus now for the rest of the race.
Madre mía, vamos por fuera que por dentro, macho. Vamos a ver un detalle ahora. No creo que es la siguiente vuelta. A ver, dame un segundo. Cuando cruzo la meta. Como veis, cuando cruza la meta se le pone en morado y se le mantiene en morado. O sea, claramente quiere decir que tiene una vuelta rápida. Entonces, esto va bien para saberlo. Porque a veces tú haces la vuelta rápida y a veces hay tantas vueltas rápidas que no saben tú ni cuál si es la tuya, si no lo es. Bueno, así lo sabrás de forma más clara. Si está en el online irá perfecto porque el mundial de los formuleros irá bien para, pues para saber quién tira la vuelta rápida y quién deja de tenerla. Y ayudará bastante para saber quién se lleva el punto extra. Así que, bueno, por esto punto extra que está en la Fórmula 2 y en la Fórmula 1, ¿vale? Digo para que quede claro. O sea, hay punto extra en los dos. Los dos. Pero de las dos categorías.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up.
Madre del amor hermoso, que este hombre da pena. Bueno, vamos a avanzar porque no tiene mucho más que ver esto.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Queda tercero con George Russell. Nicolás Latifi, ahí lo tenemos.
Motorsport are once again back on the winner's podium today after a brilliant display of driving skill.
Bueno. Y ya vamos con el último gameplay del directo. Que es recién subido este. Hoy es 18 de mayo, lo he subido. Y este es de Fórmula 2. Y se ve el menú más de esto. Y aquí diré oficialmente cuál va a ser el equipo con el que empiece mi modo trayectoria de Fórmula 1 2019. Así que, atentos, que cuando se acabe este vídeo lo digo.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to some more F1 2019 gameplay. This is F2, and as you can tell by the title, we're set for some pretty exciting racing today. So we're going to kick things off with the Bahrain Grand Prix. We're going to jump in the ART car, piloted by Jack Aiken. Shout out to my boy. Support him. He's a good guy. He's going to make it to F1 one day. But anyway, I think it's an evening or afternoon-ish kind of race. And let's see how we get on in F2 for the first time. Leave a like, subscribe.
Hello and welcome from the Bahrain International Circuit here in Sakhir. Down on the grid, the engineers are making their last checks and today's race will be underway shortly. Alongside me today, I'm delighted to welcome back to the commentary box the 2012 GP2 champion, Davide Valsecchi. There looks to be a challenging race ahead of the drivers today, Davide. With that in mind, what are you looking out for today?
Well, Alex, I want to see how the drivers at the back of the grid are going to roll down. They'll need to make an impact in the early stage.
Por cierto, aquí se ve también una parada en boxes de Fórmula 2. En este gameplay.
We see some bold maneuvers out there today.
Okay, so here we are on the grid. Like I said, we're driving Jack Aiken's ART Grand Prix car. Let's see what we can make of this race. I think we're starting P3. Bear in mind, this was some of the earlier capture that I got from the day. So I was a little bit more rusty and driving a bit more worse than what you saw earlier. But no excuses. We're going to have some fun nonetheless. Bahrain, third place. 5 red lights. Away we go. That was a long hold on the grid there, but thankfully we're able to get away in these F2 cars, which, you know, in 2018 did have some issues, but running into turn 1, we're getting barged out of the way by many AI car as you head into T1. Not a great start. I went from P3 to P10, now I'm back up to 8th. There's a yellow flag. Someone, I think it was Albon there, that was getting a bit wayward on the exit of turns 2 and 3 there, but looks like he's got away cleanly. I've now got a big train of cars behind me, and I'm thinking that I got myself in a little bit too deep in this one. I actually turned up the difficulty more for the F2 cars because I thought it's Bahrain, it's kind of an easy track, and I feel like the F2 cars, we might be able to throw them around and there may not be too much consequence, but I can tell you from experience that we get absolutely eaten alive in this race, and you can see the aggression that comes through from the AI. So, for reference, I think the AI level is 105. If not, it's between 100 and 105. And I'm not driving anywhere near my potential like I would at home. The brake pedal feels a little bit different. Whenever I turned on my steering wheel, I actually couldn't see where I was going. So a little bit of a trait that I was having is I was turning too much so that I could see where I was going in the corner, but I'll explain that in a minute. Had a bad run through the middle sector. George Russell was having a bit of a tussle with us. Nice little bit of inter-team rivalry there at ART. Markelov gets past as well, so that's Motas to P8. So we've got a lot of work to do. Slipstream looks to be working quite well for the AI. Let's see if we can utilize a bit of that back. A big lunge up the inside into the final corner. Bit of wheel spin on exit, just to go with that as well. Bloody hell. We are certainly in for a tough race here. You can see Markelov in the slipstream. He soars past on the straight. And this is something I was noticing a lot in this gameplay video. The AI were going nuts with the overtakes on straights especially. Looks like you can't adjust the fuel mixture, so you can't go rich, standard or lean. There's none of that. There's no ERS control. The only thing you can do is brake bias, I believe. So nothing really too much to play with there. So it's very simplified, and it just allows you to focus on the racing, I suppose. So it will be a good introduction to people who are new to the F1 games or racing games in general. This will help get you accustomed to the handling model somewhat before you get chucked right in the deep end of F1, where it's like a spider web of different things you can do in the menus. But anyway, Lando Norris up front is absolutely checking out. I'm still getting absolutely mauled by the mid-pack here in F2. Louis Delatraz getting past us here. Look at how slow we are on the straight. That is strange. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. Maybe the AI just, I don't know. I honestly can't put my finger on it. But anyway, that AI up the inside going for a big dive bomb. Giotto.
Laura, no se la araba, es el Tinemadruk.
But this race is absolutely ridiculous. If you've watched F2 in the past, you'll know how crazy and ridiculous this form of racing is, and it seems to be carrying over into the game as well. At this point, I'm actually getting a bit fed up of the AI bossing me around this circuit, so I've decided to go even more aggro. We're going to turn up the wick a little bit if we can, step up a gear. But I don't think I've got any more gears to find at this stage, but we're just going to go aggressive anyway. There's no point being boring and trying to keep it clean. This is a gameplay showcase in the end, and I want to push the AI to their limits and see what I can muster in this race. Trying to go around the outside there, just locked up massively. We're getting barged out the way by Galale. So I appreciate that. He gets past us up the inside. He's got DRS as well. Let's see if we can go around the outside here. No, he actually moves over in the braking zone. And my goodness, that was very, very dangerous there. P16. A very frustrated Benjamin Daly driving as Jack Aiken. I'm so sorry, Jack. I'm not doing you any justice here. I'm just...
Ahí tenemos a Roberto Meri, ahí delante.
But given the lack of time that I had to record gameplay videos today, I had to end off this.
Ahí tenemos la parada en boxes.
So that I could do other content, which you would have seen maybe earlier today on the channel, and I've got a couple more videos coming out over tomorrow and the next day, or however long it may be. But here you go, pit stop time. All the F2 garages are in the pit lane, so they have gone to that level of detail, which is nice to see. But that is the end of the Grand Prix, unfortunately, but a little taste of F2 nonetheless. Now let's hand over to Jack Nichols. Here's Jack Nichols and the other guy, Balsecki.
So another fantastic victory for Carlin today.
Es que son así las paradas en boxes en la Fórmula 2.
Give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
I think this race was won thanks to the tire management. You have to remember, it's not just about going as fast as you can. It's about consistency. It's about maintaining your speed over an entire race distance. So being able to keep the lap time competitive while still respecting the tires, that's where they won today.
And there you have it, today's winners. Having raced some of the biggest names in F1 to date, Carlin have once again shown their expertise when it comes to recruiting new talent. No doubt today's winners have a bright future ahead of them. They certainly deserve it after today's performance.
It really is refreshing to see
¿Cuántos pilotos
different
hay?
commentators
Creo que
and also the
20.
new
No
cutscenes
estoy
and
seguro,
everything.
pero creo que son
Episodes
20.
spliced into it as well definitely makes this game feel so fresh. I'm really going to enjoy the start of career mode. Throwing my car around the circuits, having fun with the AI and battling.
Sí, estará la F1 2018
Fight my way.
y más para adelante pondrán la Fórmula 1 2019, sí.
Into Formula 1.
Pero cuando salga el juego estará
Something that we've really
2019.
touched on throughout this video. Guy.
Y bueno, con esto acabamos porque esto es lo mismo, todo es lo mismo y está comentando él. Así que nada, gente, antes de despedirme, quería mostraros que ya en la PlayStation Store tenéis el Fórmula 1. Hostia. Dame un segundo. No sé qué ha pasado. Ah, vale, ya se acabó. Ahí está. Bueno, aquí tenéis el juego y esta es la PlayStation Store. Tenéis las dos ediciones. Aquí tenéis la edición aniversario, la edición leyenda con el precio y todo. Ya se pueden reservar en la PlayStation Store de España. Así que nada, gente, como siempre, un placer estar aquí. Como siempre, like, suscribiros. Espero que hayáis disfrutado y nos vemos próximamente más por el canal. Gracias por todo y hasta la próxima, gente. Chao, chao.